Why, hello there YouTube and welcome to a Torchwood review. I am Davros and I'm a Whovian, and today I review Torchwood, Kiss Kiss, Bang Bang. So yes, this is the Series 2 opener episode where, the Torchwood team have been struggling a bit without Captain Jack, but he springs back into action when he helps them with a blowfish. And then, of course, when Captain Jack returns to Cardiff, tells them that he found his doctor and that there's nothing for him to fix. And then, of course, an old flame from Captain Jack's past comes into the 21st century, Captain John Hart, played by the charming James Marsters, who I know from Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Spike. And he comes into Cardiff and him and Captain Jack get reacquainted, and we find that they were lovers at one point. And he tells them that he's out on this quest to find a diamond from this woman that he was in love with, and the team are reluctant to join him and help him out, only to find that he's actually a thief and he's up to no good, and he's ripping the team off. Even kills Jack and is surprised to see him alive. But then, of course, when the whole thing turns out to be a wild goose chase and there is no diamond, it's just a bomb that straps to him, he then uses Gwen as a bargaining chip to try and get out of it. And of course the team do by giving him a DNA mixture transfusion where the bomb comes off. The team throw the bomb into the time portal and they have to then lay low until the whole time loop is fixed and that, because they rewind time. And then Captain John Hart tells Jack he found Grey as a teaser to keep us watching throughout the rest of the series. And of course, the team are back together. So yeah, what did I like about this episode? Well, this to me is probably my favourite episode of the series. Probably my favourite Torchwood episode altogether. It's just that killer soundtrack of Captain John's theme. I just loved it. I love that. That was. I liked Captain John. I mean, even in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I liked him as Spike, and he was playing sort of a similar character to this. So he wasn't a vampire; he was a time agent, and yeah, I just liked that. I just liked it. I like the character of Captain John Hart, and he's still out there in the Whoniverse. There's always a possibility he could return. Probably not likely, but I'd like to think there might be. He was referenced in a 12th Doctor episode at one point. But yeah, for me, John Hart was a show stealer in this. I like that the whole gang was also back together. John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness. And then him asking Yanto out on a date. And we actually find out, Yanto's actually bi. He's not just straight, he likes men as well. I was like, alright then, yeah, sure. I'd let you. Why not? So yeah, a romance forms between them two. We see Owen as the chief medical officer, and Tosh as the tech, and Gwen as the voice of reason. And we find out that's John Hart. I mean, when I first watched this episode, I did not see that coming, where John turned out to just be a deceiver and a liar. I was like, oh dang it, I should have seen that coming, because he's always played characters like this in the past, and I should have seen it coming on first view. But yeah, he also provided a bit of comic relief as well in his performance as Captain John. And there were visuals used in this, such as for the Vortex Manipulator arrival scene he comes out in, and good makeup effects on the blowfish at the opening act of the episode. Bit of comedy in there at the opening when the blowfish is driving the car, allows an old lady to pass on a zebra crossing, and then Gwen just pops her head out of the SUV and says, "Did you see a blowfish drive by?" And then they drive off, and the old lady's like, "Bloody Torchwood." Yeah, I just like that. It was a fun opener, and I actually watched this twice in a week when it came out because I enjoyed it that much. And like I say, I still enjoy it now. It's just a fun, you know, just, you know, I just like this episode. It's a fun opener. You know, Chris Chibnall, I think, did better in writing for Torchwood than he did for Doctor Who, because in during Torchwood, Russell T Davies was obviously the showrunner, but Chris Chibnall wrote a lot of the episodes in the series, and I think he did good in this, better than writing for the main show, Doctor Who. I think it's just, you know, Chris Chibnall, I think he just writes better when it's for adults or young adults, not family content, because, you know, he did great with that Broadchurch. And I did say sci-fi is not his strong element, but I thought, you know, when it came to Torchwood and Darkness, I thought it was okay with that. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I feel like a lot of the characters other than Gwen and Jack, you know, Tosh, Owen and Yanto don't get as much screen time as we liked, but, you know, later on down the line they do get their own episodes that do focus on them. But Torchwood Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, what am I going to rate this one? Because, you know, ratings time. I think I've said all I need to say. I don't think there's a thing for me to dislike about this episode. So the performances, I'll give them a 9. The writing, a 9. The visuals, an 8. And my personal, I'll give it a 9 because I enjoy the hell out of this episode. A few little flaws here and there, but a good way to start the second series of Torchwood. So there you go. There is my Torchwood review for this one. Have you seen it? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Share with your friends and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that notification bell. I have been Davros the Whovian and this has been a Torchwood review. So until next time, run for your life.